Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss the questions which are asked for 1 to 3 years of experience in Capgemini on automation testing. So this was a round 1 and there was a lady, she was taking my interview. She was very cool and calm. So this interview happens on 31st March 2022 and I got the result on 4th April 2022. So without wasting our time, let's start what questions she had asked me. So in round 1, she asked me about the 3 sections. The first section is core Java, then Selenium, and then API testing. So let's move forward for an core Java questions. So section 1 will be core Java. She didn't ask me more questions on core Java, just 2 questions she asked me. So the first question she asked me is, what are OOPS concepts in Java? Answer is you can tell like abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, and polymorphism. So these are the 4 pillars which are available in object-oriented programming. The next question is about write a program to reverse a string. So she asked me to write a program that can reverse a string. She gave me a particular string and she asked me to reverse that particular thing. So these 2 questions are from core Java only. The next part is about the Selenium WebDriver. The first one, what is the difference between findelement and findelements method? So findelement and findelements method में क्या difference है? So first of all, we can tell like find element returns the one element and find elements returns the list of the web elements. Again, if element is not found, in that case find element will throws an no such element exception, whereas find elements will return us an empty or we can say the null list. So these 2 differences you can tell. Now next question is about how will you perform right click. So in actions class, there is a method which is context click. By using that method, you can tell the answer like we have used the context click method to perform an right click. Then she asked me about how will you handle iframe. So if I'm having iframe in my web page, then I have to use some methods like driver.switch to .frame, and I have to pass one ID or the name of that frame in that particular function. If I'm having the nested frames, then I have to use the different functions. Like suppose I'm in a one frame and I'm in nested frame and I want to move back to the next frame or the parent frame. So there is a function switch to parent frame. You can tell like that also. Or if you want to switch from frame to your main window, you can use the default content function. So like this, you can answer this question. Then what are the different types of locators? So there are 8 types of locators available in Selenium. So you can tell like ID, tag name, class, xpath, CSS selector and all that. So you should tell all the locators that you know. The next question is about what is the difference between absolute xpath and dynamic xpath. Then what are the types of dynamic xpath? Here I have told her like we can have different accesses or we can have a contents method, text method. So in that way we can handle the dynamic xpath also. Now next question is about if you want to print color of a button, what you will do. So in Selenium we are having one function that is get CSS value, and in that function we have to pass an parameter that is bg color, or we can say the background color, and that particular function will return us an color of that particular button. So the next question is about what are exceptions you have got. So here you have to tell like 6 to 7 exceptions, like no such element exception, socket exception is there, then no such a window exception, no such frame exception, no such alert exception. Likewise, you can find out those exceptions and you can tell. Then what is the use of build and perform? So whenever we are using the methods of an action class, so we have to use this build and perform. Basically, these two functions are used in a one sentence. For example, if I want to perform a right click on a button, then I will use element dot context click dot build dot perform. So build basically combines all the functions together, and perform will perform the action on it. So you can tell like that also. The next question is about in what ways you refresh the window. So there is a default function which is refresh. You can use that, or you can use the get current URL also. So these two ways you can tell your answer. Now next, what is desired capabilities in Selenium? Basically, desired capabilities is a class in Selenium, and that is used to configure your browser, or you can say the WebDriver instance. So you can search more on it and you can frame your answer. Then what are the different types of weights in Selenium? So we know that we have three types of weights in Selenium. The first one implicit weight, the next explicit, and third one is a fluent weight. Sometimes they ask you to write the syntax for implicit and explicit also. So be prepared for that also. Now, she asked me about the testng questions. So the first question, how will we skip any method in testng? So we have methods, or we can say the test cases in the testng. Then how we can skip that particular? So there is a keyword which is enabled, and we have to assign the initial value as in false. So enabled is equal to false. If we write like that, then we can skip that particular method or skip that particular test case. The next question is about what are assertions, or what are the types of the assertions are present in testng. So there are different types of assertions present, like assert equals, assert not equals, assert null, assert not null. Likewise, you can tell your answer. Then at last section, she asked me about the API testing. The first question she asked me, do you have any experience in API testing? If yes, is it in manual or automation? So I was telling that I have done some work on API testing, but that is in manual by using the Postman tool. So she asked me some next question about Postman. What are all methods in HTTP? So you can tell like get method, post method, then put method, delete method, patch method. So whatever methods you know, you can tell that methods. The next question, what will be the status code if wrong URL is passed? So here the answer is like 400. 400 is a status code that is for the bad request. Bad request means your URL is wrong or your URL is invalid. So you can tell like that. So this was the last question she asked me. After that, I got my result on 4th April 2022, and they have scheduled my round 2 on 8th April 2022. So in next video, I'm going to tell you what question they have asked me in round 2. So if you like this video, please hit the bell icon, share this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.